Well, hello again. It's just me waiting for my friend Taylor to come on. Can't wait to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a really long time, and I'm not going to give anything away. This is going to be an interesting one, and I want him to tell the story. So I'm not going to say a word, and we're just going to wait for him to come on and share. Right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Oh my goodness. I was like, I'm just going to ask. I'm going to see if you wanted to do something with me. And you were like, oh my God. I was like, oh, you were honored. I was honored. I was honored for you to say yes to share your story with us. It's
Of
awesome.
course.
Listen, I just want to give a little bit of a background because I have not talked to you in a while. I mean, I text you every day to see what's going on, and I follow you on Facebook, and I've been watching your amazing transformation.
Thank you.
But I met you in, I don't know if it was like May or June of like 2018 for your right knee.
It was yeah. It was.
I
I want to say May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anybody that does, I don't even know if I've ever even said this before. I work at a physical therapy office, and Taylor came in to have some work done on his knee, and I met you as Kimberly.
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. So you came in and you had gotten some physical therapy done on your knee. And,
Yeah. For
it's
the
funny
next year and
because
a half.
when I meet people, I don't say, hi, I'm Lori and I'm an alcoholic to anybody that just walks it off of the street. Well, maybe I do. I don't know.
Especially not at physical therapy.
Yeah, not in physical therapy. But it's funny because I get, feelings about people and, little things that are said, or just a feeling of, maybe you too, and I don't even know how the conversation started.
I don't
Um,
remember.
I don't know if it was a tattoo. I don't know. Maybe you asked me about it, and I just said, you know what, I'm in sobriety, and you were like, "Oh my God, me too."
It was probably the tattoo thing because, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I
know.
think so. I think it might have been. I think it might have been. So I don't know a lot about your story. I know that you had asked me about meetings. You weren't sure if you wanted to attend some. I don't know if you had, we had tried to plan a couple and, work related things were getting in the way. And
Yeah.
so I thought that the best way for me to keep connected with you was to, send you my just for today. Um, and you have asked me some questions and you run some things by me, and so I want to take this opportunity for you to be able to tell your story.
All right.
Taylor, not Kim, Taylor.
Yeah. I know. Nobody calls me that anymore. It's really weird. That's how I know it's bad mail because it says Kimberly on it. Oh gosh, where do I even start? Well, let's back up almost 15 years. So going on the name change, I'm trans. Before I knew I was trans, I identified as a lesbian.
Okay.
And that I came out to my parents in probably the worst but most stereotypical teenager way possible. I I fell in love and didn't want to go home from school that day, and I was raised very strict Roman Catholic growing up, and growing up, gay people were very frowned upon in the 90s. It wasn't exactly as visible as it is now. Um, and I, again, was a teenager. So I said, I'm not coming home, forget it, this, that, and the other thing. And that's actually not the first time I started drinking. I started drinking actually when I was 12.
Okay.
I was with this girl who was older than me, and we were stupid teenagers who were in love and had all the time and money in the world. And she's like, hey, let's go have beers with my sister, or hey, let's go do this and that. And then that, even back then, was to the point of like obliteration. Just
Yeah. Right from
bad.
the start.
Right from the start. Zoom up a few years ago. I got married in 2014. This individual was a heavy drinker as well, and we lived with an old Navy friend of mine who also coincidentally is transgender and is also coincidentally in sobriety. But the three of us together was just a bad mix.
Bad
It was
mix.
We would get a 30-pack of beer every single solitary day, and between the three of us, we would finish it.
Mhm.
And that was every single day. But we didn't think that we had an issue because we're like, oh, we also have full-time jobs. We also have this beautiful home. We're married. We have our stuff together. She ended up being unfaithful and left. That destroyed me. That
Mhm.
was really, really bad. As a newly bachelored individual, I thought, what's the better way to celebrate being single than go to the strip club? So I started going there, and common sense would indicate I was upset. I was exceedingly depressed. I would go there every single night, and instead of getting a 30 rack of beer, I would go there, and a lot of those nights I don't remember because I would just drink and drink and drink and drink.
You were a blackout drinker?
Blackout drinker.
Yeah.
100%.
Me too. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Because it would help me sleep. That was my reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't sleep and go to work unless I can't do my job unless I get some sleep. Well, that's the only way I'm going to get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go get really drunk. And that ended up actually bridging into cocaine use, because it was literally and physically all over the place. So that combined with the heavy drinking, I am clearly not a skinny person. The testosterone made me lose a little weight, but I'm not a very skinny person. I couldn't even wear a size 0 pant, or I'm sorry, a size 4 pant without them falling down. Like, without unzipping or unbuttoning, they would just fall. Because the cocaine use and the alcohol was every 7 days a week, every single night. So, and then also at the club, I met somebody who was, for lack of a better term, the rebound. This person was a heavy heroin addict. I myself was not a heroin addict. I was actually in the military at the time. And it actually saved me because I knew that if I tried doing heroin, it would come up on a drug test. Mm-hmm. And cocaine's out of your system within a short amount of time. So I said, I'm fine with that. And yeah, that was my logic.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, oh, that'll be fine. I can do it on Thursday, and then I'll be good for drill on Saturday. I'll be fine. But that actually ended up saving me from starting heroin, because if I didn't have the military, I probably would have, because at that point I had nothing to lose. But she ended up being exceedingly physically abusive, mentally abusive. We would be out after she got out of work. And we would be in Hartford going to her hookup. And her hookup also coincidentally happened to also sell cocaine. So I was not only doing it in the club all night long, but I was also leaving the club, going to Hartford, and continuing until until we passed out in the car or in a park. I ended up getting sober February 10th, 2017.
Good for you.
Yes. I at first was like, oh, well, I'll just be fine. Quitting on my own. I'll be okay. It's fine. And then I kind of quickly realized that maybe this wasn't the best idea. I started going to meetings, for actually NA meetings, at a church in Plainville. And it ended up being exceedingly a lot more than I thought it was, because I have severe social anxiety to the point where I pulled up actually the first 2 times. I was supposed to go and meet somebody at a meeting. I pulled up and I saw a lot of people standing outside having their last cigarette. And I was like, nope, too many people. Turn my car around.
Okay, all right.
And said, I'll try this next week. And then next week come around and it's the same thing.
Oh.
And what ended up getting me there was a friend of mine was back in contact with an old high school buddy of ours. And had just been freshly out of jail, heroin addict. And he said, I got to get my shit together. So he said, well, me and Taylor are meeting up on Thursday. Why don't you come meet us? And he contacted me. He goes, hey, guess who's coming? And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen him in years. Let's go. And it was going to be his first meeting, so he would have gotten his welcome. That's actually what got me to go, which is actually pretty tragic because he actually ended up passing away
I'm sorry.
last year from an overdose, unfortunately. But I credit him a lot to me taking that step and going to the first meeting, because it was me of more of a I want him to succeed more than I'm going for me to succeed. It was kind of like, oh, well, he just got out of jail and he's really struggling. I think I'm okay, but I'm going to go to support him. So let me make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Whatever it takes,
Yeah, and that he's the reason that got me in the door. And it happened. But
yeah. I know, and that's been a very, very difficult thing for a lot of people in recovery. And we do a lot of the Zoom meetings, but they're not the same for
Right.
me anyway.
Yeah.
But they do keep me a little sane anyway. just a tad, just a tad. Oh my goodness. So like I said, I've been watching you on Facebook, and I know that this was something that you've been wanting to do for a really long time.
It started with therapy first, and part of getting down to a lot of the root of my depression and anxiety at the time that I didn't even realize until a couple of years ago was, oh my God, I'm not who I feel like I am.
Mm-hmm.
And in that therapy session, my therapist at the time went, oh my gosh, these are the steps. Here's what you and call the doctor for me. So I started hormones. So after therapy was a referral to an endocrinologist. I started that. When did I start hormones? March 2018. 19, yeah.
19, okay.
And it just kind of blossomed from there. And I was on hormones, and then I got my name change done, and then I had surgery in September. And
I just been watching you, and and it just makes me smile, because I just feel like I'm just so happy for you. I'm just so happy for you. And and I know a lot of people, and when you're not happy with yourself, when you cannot look at yourself in the mirror and love who's looking back at you, this is a lot of the reasons why we do drugs and we drink. Yep. We cannot deal with who we are and how we feel about our own selves. So every time I see a video up and those pictures, oh my God, I got choked up. No, honest to God, Taylor, I was choked up because I was like, oh my God, they were amazing. When you said, can I show you something cool? And you sent me the pictures, I was blown away. And not just for that, but I mean, even for your sobriety, it has to make you feel like finally that you love yourself. I mean, am I wrong?
No, not at all. It's amazing how when you finally are in a place in your life, no matter what age, I'm 34, it took me until I was 32, 33 to really be able to put a finger on it and go, oh, yeah, that's how normal people are supposed to live.
Whatever normal is, right?
Yeah. The new normal.
Just feel good about yourself. I am so happy for you. I am so happy for you. There's certain people, I don't know. I don't. They're just meant to come into your life and
Absolutely.
cross paths. And I am so happy that our lives crossed. I really am. You have no idea. But
Yeah.
like I said, there's just that something, and
Yep.
and I just knew that there was that little something. And I've always enjoyed talking to you. I've enjoyed immensely watching this whole thing unravel for you. And I'm just so happy for you. I
Thank you.
love it. I just love it, love it, love it. And now, are you working? What's happening with you right now?
I'm working. I've been one of the fortunate people to work through the pandemic.
Okay.
Um, I work in manufacturing, so we're considered essential, luckily.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm working, and then I spend the majority of my time right here on this couch.
All
But
right.
actually, no, I recently joined the Connecticut First Governor's Foot Guard.
Okay.
Um, this past summer, I graduated in October.
Awesome.
um, that's another thing too that really has really made me very whole again is having that military again.
Good.
Um, because I actually kind of going back a little bit, I went to drill one day. I was still in the National Guard at the time, and I went to drill, and it was one of those morning afters where you could smell it on me. I guess I hadn't showered. I was severely like in the hole. I was in the hole, and my company commander at the time, he goes, "Hey Cody, what's going on with you?" Because normally I'm at drill and I'm chipper and I'm this and I'm that, and he goes, "What's going on with you?" And I got within 2 feet of him. He goes, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And it was bad. I having a Connecticut foot guard now is not obviously the federal government, but it's that military lifestyle that I had for 10
Something that you're
years.
used to, that feels comfortable, feels like home.
Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as, it's a bunch of hooligans who, want to do something for the community. And they very quickly become like family to me. And that's another big reason that I feel now more than ever that I'm where I'm supposed to be, with who I'm supposed to be with, associating who what I'm supposed to be associating with. And kind of speaking on what you were saying, how it's how I contact you about my sobriety day and that kind of thing. I have to say that it's been really nice for like as long as I've known you to even have somebody who, when I do screw up, and I do,
We all do, honey. We all
to
do.
to text you and say I effed up, and not to have somebody go and judge me or say get your ass to a meeting right now, but to be like, I support you, and you'll get through this and it's okay. And that's been a huge, huge part. So I thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's been a pleasure knowing you. And I consider you a very, very good friend. And if you need anything, I tell you all the time, if you need anything, you let me know. You have my phone number. Maybe once this pandemic is over, we can get, maybe we will get to a meeting one of these together in person. That would be nice. But I do have a lot of Zoom meetings. I could give you information. You don't even have to talk. You just get on there and listen to other people. Sometimes I just do that for like 10 or 15 minutes. Like I do, some of them are like from all over the world.
Oh,
You can
wow.
go to a different country and just listen. And it's
Yeah.
just, sometimes it's just exactly what you need, is to hear
Yeah.
somebody else that has a little bit more going on than you got going on. And you're like, okay, all right, I'm all
Yep.
right. I'm
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
sweetheart, it has been a pleasure, an
Oh,
absolute
thank you.
pleasure. And I will continue to send you my little pearls of wisdom in the morning. They're, I don't make them up. Somebody passes them on to me, and I gladly pass them on. And if and like I said, if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate.
Oh, you either, lady. I'm
Oh,
watching you.
I'm watching you. Darling, you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for doing this. You have no idea how much I
Of
appreciate
course,
it.
it's an
And just,
honor. Appreciate it.
just somebody else's story of, everybody's got a different story. We all
Oh, for
have
sure.
different stories, but we have this common thread in
Hmm.
this thing. And when you say about, being in the military, where you feel like, they're family or where you belong.
Hmm.
Anytime I talk to somebody in sobriety or in recovery, that's exactly how I feel. That I'm
Yep.
home. I know you, even though I don't know you. I know your heart,
Hmm.
and it's an instant connection. And I adore you. So keep doing what you're doing. I love seeing all of your stuff on online, and you take care of yourself. You be
You
safe.
too.
All right, darling. Have a great night. Thank you
You
so
too.
much. I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Okay, hon. Bye.
Bye.
I love him. That was awesome. Thanks, Tay.